we're going to clean and season this grill. So if Blackstone already has a video on how to do this, why did I bother to create one? Well, I find that a lot of these processes done by manufacturers, they make it look really easy and really quick. And I wanted to see actually how much effort was involved with this so I could share that with you along with the time to take. I actually learned a lot throughout this process. So in addition to sharing the how-to, I'm going to share with you the top 10 things I learned along the way. Okay, the first thing I learned is kind of a dig on myself. I must have said grill about 100 times during this video. This is not a grill, it is a griddle. To do this job, I've got a bowl of hot soapy water, dishcloth, paper towels, and I've got some clean water. We're going to use the hot soapy water to clean off any residue that may be on the grill from the manufacturing process. Then we're going to thoroughly rinse that and dry everything up really well with the paper towels. To rinse the grill, I've got some hot water in my little squirt bottle. I'll just squirt that on the grill and push all the water out the back. This should be the one and only time you use soapy water on your grill. Once you've got the grill cleaned, you're going to use some paper towels to make sure you dry it up really good. So we're going to start by lighting the grill and getting it nice and hot. So if you don't have one of these infrared thermometers, I highly recommend it. I think it'll be really helpful for a product like this Blackstone griddle. You can see the various temperature zones on the grill. So this griddle has only been running for about 2 minutes and I'm already seeing over 300 degrees in the hot spots. Since this is my first time conditioning this griddle, I decided to go ahead and use the Blackstone branded and recommended seasoning and conditioning product. I thought it only made sense to start with this, go with what they recommend, get off to a good start. The griddle's been running for about 5 minutes now. I'm starting to see just a tiny bit of smoke come off of it. I also did a quick temperature check, and in the hot spot we're pushing about 480 degrees. Okay, the second thing I learned is there are some safety things to consider here. First off, this dude smokes a lot when you put that on there, and when you're working over it, you got to be really careful not to breathe that in. Secondly, I marked temperatures over 600 degrees on this grill. It gets super hot, and you can really feel the heat radiate from both the grill and along the edges here where the flame comes out. You're going to want some long tongs or something else to be able to do this without getting burned. Definitely seeing just a hint of smoke come on there as a burn off. I'm also starting to see discoloration in the griddle. That's a good sign. That's where I want to get to. Okay, the griddle's been running for about 10 minutes now. I'm seeing high heat spots north of 570. I'm going to go ahead and start the conditioning process. The instructions on the Blackstone conditioner recommend 1 tablespoon for the 17 and 22 ounce grills, and again they recommend you do this in small thin coats. So number 4 is actually related to the seasoning and conditioner. This is an oil-based product and will liquefy when it gets hot. I had it setting on the side tray a little too close to the grill, and at one point it started to liquefy. Keep it away from the grill, keep it out of direct sunlight. And when you're doing this, you want to make sure you get this all the way up on the sides as well. Okay, I've got my first coat applied. It's definitely smoking. We're going to let that go for about 15 minutes or so, see how long it takes to burn that off, and then we'll go right to the second coat. The third thing I learned is don't forget to dump the water on the back. I cleaned the grill, put all that water in there, and then I forgot to dump it, and I realized as during the conditioning process that it was basically full of water, and it was way too hot to dump or touch at that point, so I just had to leave it alone. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes. I'm getting ready to start the second coat of seasoning. Okay, seasoning coat 3 is done. I'm going to go ahead and move on to coat 4. Number 5, watch for pooling. So when I was doing this process, when you first put it on, you wipe it in, it smokes a lot. You can't see the griddle very well, but when you go back a couple of minutes later, you'll be able to see where it's pooling in the edges, especially along the back because it slopes ever so slightly to let it drain. Number 6. Use a good conditioning product. Blackstone specifically says don't use something like bacon for the initial conditioning because of the animal fats, because of the nitrates, because of the salts. It will not give you a good polymerization. It will not do a good seasoning in your grill. So based on how the griddle looks now, it looks good. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to go ahead and do a 5th coat anyway. I don't see any harm in doing it, and I think getting this done right as you start using the grill is super important. Number 7. I recommend you start coating at the front of the griddle and work backwards. The griddle's got a slight grade to it, so the conditioner is going to want to go that way anyway. The front of the griddle also doesn't get near as hot as the middle, so it doesn't seem to take the conditioner quite as well. So I found I had the most success when I started near the front and worked back. Number 8, do multiple thin coats. You do not want to start with a heavy coat that's not going to polymerize to the griddle top properly. So it's been another 10 minutes. The griddle has stopped smoking. It looks like I've got a pretty good coat on there, so I'm going to stop at 5 coats of the seasoning. Number 9, go easy with the paper towel. And what I mean by that is when you're putting it on there, don't feel the need to scrub it in. If you start to do that, the paper towel will actually grind up a little bit and it will start to lint and leave that paper towel lint all over the griddle. Number 10, allocate enough time to do this. You're going to run about 10 to 15 minutes per coat, so even if you only do 4 coats, that's 60 minutes, plus you're going to have to allow for the initial cleanup of the grill. This process took me over an hour and a half to accomplish. It's not hard, you just have to be patient. Finally, to all my brothers and sisters serving in harm's way around the world, you're always in my thoughts. Be safe out there. Till next time, everybody.